Yeah, so that's my story. And next, I kind of just want to give you like the more practical and technical, the strictly business side of it. Like I want to tell you my experience with it, and if you're trying to decide if you want to be a figure of, like you want to be a spiritual counselor type tarot reader, or if you want to really go for the industry, the online business, more hardcore type, and also like if you want to do the third mode, which is being an artist. The third one I'm gonna have less to say because it's just something that I'm focusing on now, so I'm just sort of starting that journey, or like consciously walking this journey. I think I've been sort of like an artist, like like in the past, like I've always been creating. So, but now it's like literally like deciding that it's my lane. So I just want to share you some of my business insights, bits and bobs, and kind of just some tips and hacks, I guess. If you're trying to decide, or if if you're just like curious. Okay, so let's go. Number one is the first mode that I did was having an online tarot business that is heart-centered, that is more based on your message and that is more, like you want to be a spiritual counselor, you want to be a teacher, you want to be a figure of wisdom. So I think if you want to go this route, if you want to walk down this path, I think I think when it comes to who you are as a person, you want to be really interested in like holding space for others. Like you want to be really interested in the stories of others. Like, you want to be interested in transforming lives with your presence. And I think lives can be transformed in different ways. Like it could be transformed through inspiration, maybe through something that, through a piece of art. But I think being like a card slinger, like a spiritual card slinger, as a figure of wisdom and whatnot, I think you need to be really interested in communicating with your audience and communicating with your clients, your people, interacting with them, having a dialogue with them, having a conversation, and actually showing up in their lives, like as a figure, as someone who can guide them and inspire them and nurture them. And I think nurturing is really important because you're essentially like, you're holding space, right? And I think you will want to pick this route. I feel like I'm talking about like a game, and it's like, oh, in this game, this is the first route you can pick. If you want a different ending, go for the other route. But yeah, if you want to walk down this path, I feel like I feel like you need to be someone who has a strong message. Like you're driven by a powerful message. You have a powerful message to share with the world. You're really interested in transforming people's lives, in really like loving and intimate ways. And you want to be a source of wisdom and guidance. You want to, it's more about like being a teacher and being a figure of like guide, like being a guide, I guess, for the seekers that cross your path. And I think if you embark on this particular path, I think working on yourself is particularly important. Like you can, I feel like, helping people work on themselves and helping them level up in spirit, through whatever ways, whatever philosophies and messages you're teaching. Like I think you're also like quoting Lisa Nichols, you have to be a humble servant leader. That's what she said. You have to be a leader in the way that you hold space for others, but you're also, I think you have to be like someone who's very conscientious about your own personal growth and your own spiritual narratives, because I feel like you can't really be a true figure of like wisdom if you're not consciously cultivating your own wisdom. So that's just my 2 cents. But that's sort of like, like I think that's the temperament you need to have for this kind of path. Like you want to be always willing to be vulnerable, I think, be open, sharing your insights, making connections with others, sharing what you've learned from your own life, and giving people strategies to deal with their lives or their challenges in their relationships or job or whatever you specialize. So if you're someone with like a strong message, if you really want to show up in that way, I kind of feel like that's your, I think it's a good path for you to walk on. It's not my path. I feel like I resonate with parts of it, but it's not completely who I am, which leads me to my second path that I've walked on, which is having like an online business school or any form of online business that's more driven by the industry vocabulary, like creating a sales funnel, like setting up a system and structure for your online business. So I think for this, it's like really good with skilling. Like it's great potential for passive income and great potential for continually skilling the income and the results that you get, because it's just so incredible. Like the more you build on your audience, the more you build on your message and your hone your craft, etc., it really just grows forever. And I think that's true for any online business. Like online business generally are pretty scalable, like it just goes up and up and up. But I think with having an online business, and specifically in my experience having an online business school, you know, having online courses, it's very, like, you have to have the temperament for it. Like I think if you really enjoy structure, if you really enjoy systematically, you know, coupling with your love and your message and what you want to do for the world, coupling with like great strategy and really results based and results driven tactics, and you know, really setting up that structure, really setting up that foundation through the technology that's available online, such as ConvertKit and Deadline Funnel. If you don't know what Deadline Funnel is, it's basically they give you like a trackable cookie or whatever. I'm not sure how it works, but basically it'll have like a really unique deadline for the person who clicks on your page, or for the person who receives your emails. So then you'll create this sense of urgency through this countdown timer, through this deadline, and thus generating more sales, etc. So it's very structured, it's like very systematic, there's a lot of technology involved. You either spend time to learn them or you pay someone to do it for you. So it's like definitely very technical, and I don't have a lot of good things personally to say about this, just because I found it I tried it for 7 months and I find that incredibly stressful. I think you need to enjoy this kind of systematic and, you know, strategizing. You know, if you're more results based, if you're someone who has a strong like earth or air element, I think this is a good way for you. Like I said, I personally don't have the temperament for it. Like if you're someone who's more intuitively and emotionally driven, it's probably not the best thing to go into, because the stress and all the subscription fees that you need to keep all these services running is just like, it's just too much. It's honestly way too much. But I just want to say, like, again, like having an online business like this, having a lot of structure and system and strategy, doesn't mean you're not authentic. I think often it could come across as inauthentic because it could get a little bit formulaic, in the sense that you're strategizing, you're using a lot of the same core principles and strategies to get your messages across. And I just want to say that is not the case. Like a lot of the online businesses that come across, they're all very authentic, but it's just very like productive. You know, so I just want to say, like, I'm not saying it's like it's less authentic or less organic in any way. I guess in a way it's less organic because it's very structured, right? But you know, it's just like there's a certain way that of doing things that you need to sort of follow, and if you're not really into that kind of structure, then it's probably not going to be very enjoyable for you. Like yeah. So that's kind of my experience with it. I think it's good if you're someone more results driven, if you enjoy that kind of productivity, if you're who you are and your goals align with this mode of online business. I think it's like a good thing to do. But yeah, like I said, it's not for me. Which leads me to the third business mode of being online, or the third path, which is the path that I've decided to embark on as of now. Is to walk or the path of an artist and the creator. So this is the path I'm stepping into, and you know, like I said before, like I really just don't want to deal with all the structures and the technologies anymore. It's just been so stressful. I spent 7 months. I mean, I would say I made pretty good grounds with it. Like I made pretty good progress with it. I'm sure if I'm confident that I could learn the whole thing, but it just wasn't that enjoyable. You know, I didn't really enjoy all the pages that I have to read, all the people that I have to ask to figure out how to set up a deadline funnel on the page, and it was just like very glitchy and very stressful, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I just want to be very straightforward. I just want to create, have a platform to share my creations, and then move on, you know? And luckily, there are tons of platforms out there that allow you to do that. Like it's amazing. And then, you know, like Patreon, you can literally you can have a direct relationship with the people that love your work, and you can have a consistent, you know, outlet for creating something. Because oftentimes, like if you say don't have Patreon, if you're just creating randomly, you would obviously want to focus on the things that generate income or generates, you know, more results for you. But Patreon is really cool, which is something that I'm considering doing. It's not considering, like, it's probably going to be doing. It's because it's a direct relationship. You know, I can just say, like, if you really enjoy my work, I would love to have you as one of my patrons, because I can create regularly. I could create good quality content. I could actually make this my forefront. You know, I could just create out of love, and out of just, I'll have a lot of people to share with who are willing to contribute to my, you know, contribute to my work and stuff, and to who would love to show who show appreciation for what I'm able to create. And that's great. I think it's amazing how so many online platforms are available nowadays for someone who's not, who if you don't want to deal with all the systematic stuff and all the structures, like, websites like Zazzle if you want to sell your art on different products, websites like Lulu if you want to sell your ebooks. There's a lot of these, like, third party, I guess, websites that allow you to share your creations in form, and you can manifest them on this website, but they deal with all the shipping and all the difficult stuff for you. And that's, I think, something that, I want to be doing more of, because I realize that I'm an artist at heart, and I've always been an artist. I've always just wanted to create and just share my imagination and my love with the world, but I sort of got, like, sidetracked. I guess not sidetracked, it was just, I ended up exploring different things. But you just kind of have to walk those paths to really learn, right? You need to look at what works and what doesn't. And what my conclusion for myself is, I am an artist. Let's just keep things simple so I can create, give it to the people that I love, create, and do more of the same thing, and just always be creating. That's something that really brings me a lot of joy, and just feel so confident and so filled with vibration saying this. It really makes my heart sing, like, just holding this idea in my headspace. Like, it's much a stronger feeling, a stronger sense of joy than when I was, like, trying to figure out all the funnels, because that was not fun. That was actually kind of like, maybe that's why I was, like, impatient and always, like, grumpy when I did it, because it was just like, I don't know, maybe not in line with the best version of me and not in line with my vision. But yeah, if you walk the path of an artist, I think it really allows you to focus on just creating and what you want to create, what you want to bring to the world, focusing on, like, the creative abundance that you have and that you want to give to the world and you're willing to give to the world, which is what I want to do. Okay. Yeah, like, if you have, like, a really rampant sacral chakra like me, then I think walking the path of an artist is a good idea. Yeah, so it actually took me a long sort of, like, detour. Like as Gabby Bernstein says, any detour, an obstacle is a detour in the right direction. Like, everything was there for me to really discover what I really wanted, what really makes my heart sing, and what I've always wanted to do. I think discovering or experimenting with all these different modes of running a business really gave me a lot of insight about who I am and what I ultimately want to do in life, which is to be an artist, for God's sake. And also embarking on this journey, I wouldn't even say it's a detour. It's not, it's something that was in line with what I needed to experience at the time. So yeah, I think to close, if you find that you're not sure where you belong, and you're not sure, like, which path you're gonna be on, because you're so, like, an eclectic person, or if you have, like, you're drawn to these different modes of business, but you don't really know. Hopefully listening to my story might help you realize that, maybe you don't have the temperament for this, or maybe you have the temperament for that, or whatever. But I would say the most important thing is to just don't be afraid to try. I mean, there was, like, a brief moment when I was thinking about the story where I feel like, oh, that was so much time wasted. If I just started earlier with that clarity, with that vision, then I would be so much more successful right now. It's pointless to think that, because you wouldn't have known what you know now without experimenting, without going through all the things that you have experienced. So don't be afraid to try, because sometimes you just have to try to know, like, sometimes you can't just live your life through thoughts and through logic. You have to actually go through the motion and go through the ways to decide that, yeah, I actually don't like traveling like this. This is not how I want to travel. This is not how I want to create my life. And then you move on to something else. And I think eventually, like, it will come to you. Like, if you're sort of like having doubts about what your lane is or who you are, and business wise, like, what is your brand? What's your persona? Like, what is your message? I think if you have the intention of finding it, like, it'll always come to you. And but yeah, hopefully this video maybe help you shorten that journey a little bit. And if you have any questions, ask me, because I think I try to cover everything that I know, but then at the same time, I don't want the video to be too long. So if you have any questions, just like ask me in the comments. I would love to talk about all the things I've experienced and all the tools I've tried. I might make another video about it. Like I said, I'm gonna cut that part because I was like babbling. But anyway, like I would love to talk about like Deadline Funnel or ConvertKit versus MailChimp, or if you're playing with all these different tools, like if you're trying to start an Etsy shop, or if you want to work on Squarespace or whatever, let me know if it's something like you want to know about, and then I can make a video about it, or just ask me in the comments. But yeah. I think that's it. Sorry this video got too long. I was like, I can get it done in 20 minutes, but with all the things that I wanted to say, I think 20 minutes was barely enough. But anyway, hope this video has helped you, and I will see you next time. And speaking of next time, I really need to create a customized like header and banner for my YouTube. I've been trying to do that for ages, but it just haven't really figured out a format yet. So that's why you see like fluctuating subtitles and banners and stuff like that. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah, anyway, until next time, be the hero of your own story. Keep loving, keep creating, keep imagining, keep finding your path, keep creating your path. Follow your North Star. You'll never go astray, and then keep exploring your map and enjoy your adventure. That's what life is all about. So I will see you next time, and peace out. Oh yeah, I forgot to do the thing.